Well, the cockpit is quite intimate, but you've got all the switches and the instruments, so you feel very much at home in it. You know, and you like to know what everything does, and you've got seat fits perfectly, all the pedals are exactly right, the steering wheel's where you want it, the mirrors are correct. So it's very much your office and your home. And when you're in the pits, you're surrounded by all your friends. You've got a radio so you can speak to the crew, your engineer. But then there's that very intimate feel there. But then as soon as you roll down pit lane, you're absolutely on your own. So it just flips from one to the other.
The cockpit of a race car is it's like a capsule of chaos, is what it is. You know, from the moment the race starts, you know, you've got it coming at you from all sides. You have so much input coming in your brain. You know, you're looking at the road ahead. You're looking at what that car is doing, and whether the 3 cars on the right are doing, and whether the 2 cars behind you are doing. You know, and you're listening to the engine notes to make sure that the engine sounds fine still. You're keeping an eye on the gauges. There's more channels coming in than your brain can possibly process. So you're just kind of like selecting little parts to notice, about every, couple tenths of a second.
I think the biggest thing, or the closest thing you can really kind of counter to is it's a bit like being a sort of a jet pilot, in a jet fighter. It's, you got your tiny little cockpit. As a driver, you feel like completely at home there. You feel more at home there than anywhere else. You're in your own little space, and when you get driving, you kind of get into the zone. You're really kind of focusing on the track and how the car's handling, and you really kind of almost get into some kind of like weird trance. And as you say, the engineer would come on the radio and say, okay, try this map position or change to that map position. And for a moment, it breaks that kind of that spell or that trance that you're in, and it can be kind of quite a strange feeling.
We have an in-car camera, and you'll see them, and it's almost like when you ring them up to make a change and something in the car, hit a button or change a button. It's like they wake up from a dream, because they're driving, they're really focused on what they're doing, and then all of a sudden you ring up and you can see them go. And then they're starting to try to find the button, and it's like you see this hand going like this because they're getting G's, they're getting vertical G's.
When they're driving, their eyes are set to infinity, and they're just focused on the next corner. Or when they get to the turning point, they're focused on the apex, and when they get to the apex, they're focused on the exit. So that is their total focus, 100%.
Certainly in sports car racing, when you're outside of the cockpit, it's far more nerve-wracking than when you're driving yourself. So anytime we're in the car, it's usually a good feeling.
First time you get in the car at Sebring and it's nighttime, seeing, specks of sand in your headlamps, and, seeing the taillights of the cars that are 300-400 yards away whistling through the corners ahead of you. Driving around, you've got minimal lighting, but you've got flash cameras. There's a guy parked on the side of the road with his headlights on, having some fun with the high beams. You get that sometimes too, bonfires. And, particularly at Le Mans, when you're driving through the woods, you feel completely alone, but so much at peace, because, you're just so at one with the car. You're hearing every little whistle noise, feeling every bump in the road. You truly become part of the machine. At nighttime at Sebring, the first couple times you go out with the bumps, the disorientation, it reminds you what it truly feels like to be alive. And racing has a way of doing that.